Welcome to part 2 of this live stream. It is the soup du jour.
Oh, what's the soup du jour?
Well, it's the soup of the day.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
Yes, it's the soup du jour. It's the show where we talk about movie and TV topics. And since we covered the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare in part 1 of this live stream, we thought it would be appropriate to reveal our top 5 World War II movies. Since, the movie that we just covered was set within World War II. Oh, geez. Well, anyway, side note, I know we had initially advertised that we were going to do a movie draft of World War II movies. In case you were kind of wondering and hoping that we do another movie draft, we had to pull last minute audio, a little bit of a hot route. But keep in mind, this is the soup du jour. We will save that movie draft, the next movie draft, for a future episode. Maybe sooner than you think. But Jeremy and I, we audible to doing top 5 movies. I'm curious to see what your top 5, well, first of all, which movies you've seen. I'm not sure we've talked about too many World War II movies other than Inglourious Bastards and the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. We haven't talked about it much. I don't think I've seen too many.
Yeah. You know what? Like, I thought I watched a lot more. I have a good amount, but I thought the list was a little bit more. I was going through some lists on the internet, and I was like, oh shoot, I've only watched maybe 10 to a dozen, somewhere in that ballpark. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yes, we're now doing top 5 World War II movies. Jeremy, do you want to lead us off with your list? Feel free to mention any honorable mentions.
Okay, I'm going to leave off honorable mentions for now, just in case I don't want to step on any of yours.
Go ahead. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll pick one of my honorable mentions.
There you go.
So that, because I don't think you're going to pick this, because my honorable mention is Fury, starring, also from Inglourious Bastards, Brad Pitt. And dude, Shia LaBeouf is weird in that movie too. So yeah, Fury, the tank World War II movie. That one's pretty good. John Bernthal is also good in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the Punisher and a tank, man. You don't want to have that combination.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4. Number 5. Okay, Fury's good. Number 5, Jojo Rabbit. That's my World War II movie. It's so sad, but funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, Taika Waititi's probably the best movie since Ragnarok.
That is such a good movie. I love Jojo Rabbit.
Number 4, Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay.
I like that movie. A lot. Right. Andrew Garfield. All right. Number 3, I don't know if you're going to see this coming, probably. Dunkirk. Dunkirk. Yes, I had to have Christopher Nolan in here because number 2 is not a Christopher Nolan movie. It is Inglourious Bastards. We've been talking about it all day.
Yes.
And then at number 1, the all-time classic, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Because, when we were talking about Ungentlemanly Warfare, the sense of anyone can die at any moment was Saving Private Ryan for sure. It's like, damn, that movie is brutal. And it does not sugarcoat war at all.
Wow.
And Nathan Fillion was Private Ryan. So was Matt Damon. Remember, Nathan Fillion was the first guy that they say, "Hey, you're Private Ryan, right?" It's like, my brothers are dead. And it's
yeah, that's
how is this even possible? They're so young.
That was so good. Yeah. Dude, I remember rewatching this maybe a few years ago, and I was like, I forget how absolutely stacked that cast is, and each gives. I mean, yeah, the Ministry of Ungentle. I hate kind of comparing the two because one's a classic and one just came out or whatever. Obviously, different times, right?
Yeah.
But I felt like the movie that we just covered is pretty stacked. But Saving Private Ryan, not only is the cast stacked, they're all young, with the exception of Tom Hanks, but he's still in his prime, right? Everyone gives memorable, distinct performances, and they're all memorable. Oh, they're all so good.
Yeah, this was what Matt Damon's first time being like surprised to see him on screen. Like
He didn't have a
we saw
space blanket and crying.
crying on Matthew McConaughey's shoulder. Because we saw that Interstellar. Then remember he showed up in No Sudden Move, a movie that we covered in season two.
Oh, it was 2.
Which was an okay movie, but I was like, hey, it's Matt Damon. What the hell? So I don't know why he's doing that.
Yeah. I'm sure he's had other cameos where he just shows up. Like, oh, remember when he in Ragnarok? Speaking of Ragnarok, and Taika Waititi, when he shows up with the bendy horns.
I hope he shows up in the MCU again at some point.
I mean, he showed up for Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Did anyone show up for Love and Thunder?
Hey, I think Love and Thunder is a little overhated now. All right.
Yeah,
it's not good.
I agree.
It had aspects that were decent. It obviously didn't live up to Ragnarok's expectations.
For being one of the most low tier of MCU, it's still like it's not a good movie, but it's not like, dude, it's not Madam Web level. That's just boring and hard to get through.
We have a top 5 list. Jeremy, do you want to go over it real quick?
Reveal it now or
No? Yeah, you know what? I think his will actually break up yours and mine. You'll see why.
All right. For sure, Jack says it's honorable mention goes to Defiance with Daniel Craig, and Fury drops 1. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I actually seen Defiance with Daniel Craig, and I think Lev Schreiber is in it as his brother. Dude, I haven't seen that movie since high school. I forgot what it was. Pretty dark as well. But here we go. For show Jax, it's gonna go. We mentioned Fury. That's okay. I'm assuming then his number 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. His number 5 is Dunkirk. You got number 4, Oppenheimer, just Oppie. Number 3, Inglourious Bastards. Number 2, Pearl Harbor. I don't blame you, man. It's freaking Pearl Harbor. I forgot about that movie. But...
they take a big swing. I was trying to find Pearl Harbor on some sort of list because I knew it exists. I was like, no one wants to mention Pearl Harbor.
I think that's why I've kind of forgot about it when I was going through best lists. No one mentions Pearl Harbor, but it is a fun movie. If you don't,
it's just
think
really
about
long.
It is. I mean, it's
really long.
That's what you get. And then, of course, number 1, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor, aka basically a love triangle.
Yes, love triangle in World War II.
Yeah.
When what's his name? Rafe.
Hey.
Spoiler alert for a freaking 20-year-old movie, but yeah, when he dies,
oh yeah,
it's like I was like, out of all the guys to die, I don't know, man.
It was pretty good. I think I recently watched that movie too. I think. Oh, actually, you know what? I rewatched that movie last year because I visited Hawaii for the first time in a long time. I was like, and I got to see Pearl Harbor in person for the first time. I was like, you know what? Let's watch Pearl Harbor.
Apparently, one of the most inaccurate history movies of all time. So
yeah, it took a swing, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yes. Jax also says, although I may sub one of those for Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
Would you count it as a World War II movie?
You know what? I was gonna toss it in there as an honorable mention, but since he mentioned it, I won't have to anymore, just because it was fun. But
That
yeah,
would be like my number 2,
honorable mention. Yeah.
if I could include it.
Yeah, because
That's
I was
all
like,
funny.
it's kind of fiction. I could just mention it as a
I mean,
funny anecdote because it
yeah.
was technically set in World War II.
Yeah, see, exactly. Jack says, if I can count Pearl Harbor, we could count this. Pearl Harbor, the movie, is fiction as much as Captain America, the First Avenger. So, holy crap. That
Oh
is
man.
true. So then, yeah. Number 2 for me, you drop everything else.
Oh, that is so
That's funny.
good. You know what? Since for show Jax stole my thunder with my honorable mention, Captain America: The First Avenger, I was like, I'll come up with another fun one. But anyway, I'll have 2 honorable mentions. The first real honorable mention, because I had one real one and one unserious one. The first may be a hot take, especially for us. It's because I really didn't want to have 2 Christopher Nolan movies in my top 5. I'm going with Dunkirk as an honorable mention. Second honorable mention, The Notebook. It appeared on one of the lists.
Yeah, it was on one of the lists. I saw it. I saw it, but
The
I was like,
Notebook.
is that?
Hey, it was the catalyst of them growing apart. I wrote you every day for a year. Don't make me say it. It's not over. It's still not over.
Damn that movie.
Hey, at least I didn't say it like The Rock, like I did in our Notebook episode.
Yeah, that's true. You said it more like Harry or Lloyd, honestly.
No, it was The Rock. I rewatched that reel from time to time just to crack up.
Okay.
Like during the our off seasons, I rewatched that one right before we started season 7. It's pretty funny. Anyway, those are my 2 honorable mentions: Dunkirk and The Notebook. So starting, I mean, some of these will look familiar, Jeremy.
Okay, probably.
Number 5, starring Spider-Man himself,
Oh yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge. I love that movie. I
It's
really did love that movie. Number 4, Inglorious Bastards. Now, I have it this low only because I haven't seen it in a while. I just know if I rewatch it, it'll probably shoot up maybe 1 or 2 spots. But yes, for now, Inglorious Bastards, number 4. Number 3, you mentioned it, Jojo Rabbit. I love that movie.
Jojo Rabbit is so good.
I remember sharing it as my podcast ritual when I first watched it, and man, Taika Waititi was so funny. I want to reveal a thing, but I won't. Like, I want to. We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we've talked about Jojo Rabbit yet. But Taika Waititi's character in that movie, pretty good.
Yeah.
Very unexpected. I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
Damn it! Now
That's
I want
so
to rewatch Jojo Rabbit. Number 2, Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
It caught me off guard. I was like, ah! Like, what?
I wanted to see your reaction. No, I love Saving Private. It's such a classic.
Number 1's Pearl Harbor.
Are you reading off my notes?
Really?
No.
Bro.
Number one's got to be Oppie.
Okay.
It won movie of the year. It's recency bias. It's all the whole thing. I think for me, it's not only because it's Christopher Nolan, it's because of the whole global stakes. I mean, we talked about the lack of stakes within the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Dude, we had humanity as stakes for Oppenheimer. And I mean, we talked about it so much during our season 6 finale. Check out that episode to see what my true feelings are on that movie. I don't want to bore you with those now because I can go on for how long was that episode?
Dude, probably almost as long as the movie.
Yeah, I know. I could go on for that long, and it's weird to have a biopic be as rewatchable. Well, for me anyway. But I've watched Oppenheimer now at least 5 times, and that's a huge time investment. That's 15 hours.
That is a lot.
But yeah, it's so good.
Jax also says, might as well throw in Godzilla.
I would say,
minus one."
I was thinking about adding it as a fun. Oh, you know what? That's Oppenheimer. That's the sequel to Oppenheimer.
That's all funny.
Oh shoot.
Let's see. Also, Jack says, still gotta watch Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
We
it's
won't
good.
spoil it here, but yeah, go check it out. It's a good one.
Yes, and yes, he was calling me out for 15 hours worth of Oppie.
15 hours.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot.
Dude, I thought you were I thought you were trying to say 13 hours, the Michael Bay movie. But I'm
I was
like,
like,
dude, that's not World War II.
that's not just a few decades a little too late.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. We highly recommend Jojo Rabbit, especially if you like Taika Waititi, like good Taika Waititi. I mean, not Love and Thunder, more Ragnarok.
Yes. Exactly.
Very good, some very good stuff. Well, anyway, those are our lists. And again, we're still gonna kind of vamp a little bit here, because again, we are a movie podcast. We will talk about random stuff. Jeremy, I know we have our comments section now within the Soup du Jour. Well, earlier this week, I forget what day, because my days are just kind of running together.
Mm-hmm.
The Deadpool and Wolverine trailer got released. Your thoughts? Have you seen it? First of all, I should probably ask.
Oh yeah, yes, I have.
Okay.
I have seen it,
Okay,
and I'm
good.
right off the bat. I'm glad that they showed Wolverine first because they didn't show it in the first trailer.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show his face, I should say.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for this movie, man. As much as I would like someone else to be Wolverine, I love Hugh Jackman. I'm glad he's coming back. It's just, how can you beat him in Logan? I think that's the thing I'm most worried about, is how are they gonna work around him still being Hugh Jackman's Wolverine while not tarnishing anything that he's done before. So I'm still cautiously optimistic for this movie, but it got me super excited. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seemed like it's a variant, right? And a younger version of Logan from Wolverine from Logan. I'm trying to now stay away from breakdowns
yeah.
because I want to fully immerse myself within the movie. I'll figure all that stuff after if I'm a little lost, but I kind of want to not have certain expectations, and I want to see what our theater crowd is. I want to see how they react to whatever gets presented on opening night when we watch it.
Yeah, I agree, because I did watch the breakdown by New Rockstars, but I'm kind of forgetting everything that they said already. So, yeah.
I only
It
watched
was a
the
good
trailer reaction, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop right here.
Okay.
So at least it's like he's seeing it, he's kind of reacting. He'll kind of give his off the top of his dome like reactions and comments, and that's it. That's like, okay, that's all I want.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Eric Voss if you're listening.
I mean, you never know, apparently, nowadays. Freaking New Rockstar is gonna freaking pop up and just comment. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched an MCU movie, kind of just like blindly going in. So I'll try my best to, like you, going pretty clean and blind.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna release one more full trailer before?
I think so.
Okay. Right,
Probably like in June is my guess. Would be the next trailer, or late May,
early July, or maybe even early July.
Yeah.
Because
Wait,
isn't
when
it
does come out?
late? I think it's mid to late July.
Oh, I thought it was early July. I forgot.
Yeah.
It's on our
Possibly
on
4th
our-
of July ish.
We were most likely covering it.
Yes. Wink.
Wink, wink. Oh, okay. Well, what do you think about the trailer? Did you like it?
I did. Just because, well, remember how the first teaser like kind of ended where you get the what do you call that? You get the silhouette, the shadow of Wolverine, and the whole that
Mhm.
whole part. I was like, oh yeah. And then you kind of get the shot right after where you get to see it from Wade's perspective, and I was like, oh, here we go. And then I liked how in the beginning Deadpool addresses Wolverine as "Hey Peanut," and I was like, "Oh!" And then we get the whole I don't know if it's an Easter egg, but it's a giant, huge mask of Ant-Man
Mhm.
in what looks like the Void that we were introduced in Loki. So yeah, it was nice to see the Ant-Man connections, I guess. And then you're gonna get a little bit more of the connections with the MCU. You got the whole Doctor Strange portal, not Doctor Strange portal, but just the
Yeah.
portals, right?
Yeah. Who knows where they're jumping to?
Right.
Heck, even in the main movie, they might not even do that. Who knows what Marvel is
Yeah.
doing nowadays?
Bait and switch.
Bait and switch. They might even be jumping next to frickin' The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson and the other guys at that point.
And it's splat.
Yeah. Aim for the bushes.
That movie is so goated. It's so good.
It is good. Dude, I'm sorry to hijack you as hosting Soup du Jour, but dude, I gotta talk to I've been waiting to talk about this. Okay.
Yeah. This
With
is
you.
the comment section.
So it's almost gonna okay. This is also my one last thing, by the way.
Oh.
Just kind of hijacking it real quick. There's one movie that I've been meaning for to watch a long time, but I have two movies for one last thing. I watched Sometimes I Think About Dying, starring Daisy Ridley, which is a very good movie. It was like indie movie and all that. But what I was really wanting to share was Past Lives. Cause, dude, I hate this movie so much.
I told you. What did I tell you? I described it perfectly without revealing anything, yeah?
Yes, you did. And you revealed enough to excite me, but not like give anything away.
Yeah.
And okay, so if anyone here that hasn't seen Past Lives yet and doesn't want to get spoiled, leave now because I need to
Remove this. Remove this.
freaking like I'm gonna
Come back in like 5 minutes.
yeah, seriously, because who knows if I'm gonna be done like freaking ranting? Not ranting. It's a wonderful movie. Because I'm just gonna say before you leave, this movie because we talked about top A24 movies
Last week we did.
last week. Easy number one.
Ah, I
Easy
knew it.
number
I
one.
knew it. See, now you know. Now you know. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it. But I knew you would like it. It's
Man.
right up your alley, especially since you mentioned it because I just edited that episode. You were like, "Oh yeah," in the trailer I mentioned 500 Days of Summer. I'm like, "Oh shit, he's going there." Past Lives is right up your alley then.
Oh man, that movie was insane. Because I knew that I had to work my way up to it. I had to be in the mood to watch Past Lives, and sometimes I think about dying.
Yeah.
Like fit that like that appetizer to that movie. And shoot, how do I even describe this? I don't know if I like it more or not than 500 Days of Summer. That's how good it is. It for me,
I separate the two.
they're very different.
Very different, but very much the same.
The characters are much more real in this movie. You know, in
Yeah.
Past Lives, they're actually more human being. They're not so dramatized, you know.
And
But
you got a little bit of that pandemic feel, didn't you? Because it was kind of almost like being isolated, but also you kind of got that long distance relationship sort of thing. But it wasn't really a relationship, but it developed into one sort of.
dude, I don't understand. Okay, I'm gonna talk about spoilers now because
Okay, spoilers.
can't go. This is turning into a mini Past Lives thing right now.
Yes. I've been
I
meaning
don't.
to talk to someone about this movie.
It's so good. Oh. Okay, for one, after I watched the movie, I had to get up at 6:30 in the morning after watching this movie, dude. And I watched it the night before, and I'm like, I was like, oh, it's one of those movies that's probably like slower or whatever. It'll be easy to fall asleep after. I could not fall asleep after this, man. I was like,
Did it tempt you to want to call it sick?
it did, man. I was like, I'm not like physically ill, but my heart is broken. That's what happened, man. I was like, ah, okay. This like movie, not to get too personal here on the Weekly Reel podcast, but man, for some reason, why does it just
It's triggering. It's triggering.
it's triggering some past lives, if you know what I mean. Man, it's just like wow, this movie. Um, like I'm gonna skip all, but when Nora Nayoung tells Hesung basically, oh, I can't talk to you anymore. The first, like in 12 years later, when they're like 24, I think at this point.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I was audibly like, what the hell are you talking about? I was
Yeah.
I was like, what's happening? Like, why is she doing this? And
I was I was waiting for the other shoe to drop because obviously you get the flash forward and to start the movie. I was like, all right, where's that white guy gonna be? How is he gonna
it's
be
like,
played? He's not there on accident. All right, when are we gonna meet? When are they gonna fall in love? It was that sense of
God.
dread, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not gonna happen. Oh, here it is.
Dude, I was like freaking shaking the entire movie, like, oh, everything's just kind of flooding and coming back in.
Mm-hmm.
Like my own like thoughts just kind of filling in the gaps of the movie, and the the two leads of this character acted out perfectly, man. Like there's so much the entire movie, the like this feeling of longing for love.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man. And when she meets what's his name? Arthur?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they come back to the US from whatever trip, and they're like, oh, like yeah, we're married. I'm like, I was like, WTF. I was literally at my screen.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Ah.
Wait, I'm forgetting what they called it just because I've only seen it the one time, and it was probably now a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call that whole concept of, like when people are just meant to kind of be there? I forget the concept. What was the name of it?
Inyan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it reminded me of In Your Name when they talked about the other connection that they have in there.
Yep. That's exactly where I was going.
Too many like
That's why I was like, no, dude.
Dude, this sucks, man.
This is gonna be Jeremy's one of his favorite movies of all time. I already know. I don't want to set that expectation. That's why I was tempered. I was like, it'll be right up your alley.
It's you'll like it probably. Damn. It's better than Oppenheimer, man. It should have won Best Picture.
You know what? I wouldn't have been mad that if it would have beat Oppenheimer. It's such a good movie.
It's such a good movie. Holy crap! It reminds me if you mix 500 Days of Summer,
Your Name,
your your name, because kind of that time aspect with shoot. Oh crap! I'm forgetting the movie. I don't know, freaking Wong Fu, and it was like a K drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was an American indie movie mixed with a K drama, I was like, holy crap! And the way that they would just look at each other, oh damn!
Oh man, the end.
They were just like, you would think in like a grandiose movie, like let's say The Notebook or any other rom-coms, freaking How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, there's that grand gesture, that big talk that they have at the end. In this movie, in past
It was
lives,
too real.
they're just
Too
staring
real.
at each other. And it's just a wide shot. It's not even close ups.
Yeah.
And they just let it sit.
It's like one grabs an Uber, the other one just walks back home and literally just bawls in her husband's. And I feel for the husband too, because he knows that they have a connection that they don't have.
Yeah. Dude, and it was that bedroom scene between Nora and Arthur where they're talking about like, whoa, what do you think of this guy? And what do you think your life would be like if you didn't meet me or if you stayed in Korea?
Yeah.
I think was so real. And I love but also hate that he's like, you guys have the best story. I'm just the random guy that's in the way. It's like you guys should get together. I'm like, I want that to happen.
He's such a nice guy.
I know. I'm like, you're too good. Damn it.
You know who he reminds me of, right? Jonathan from from. I'm just kidding.
From anyone but
anyone but you.
Part.
He was a nice guy. The other guy was a nice guy, and then this one was like, oh man, he's like the third guy who ends up being the main guy, who's still also a side guy, but he was so good. He was so nice.
Exactly, man.
He treated her well.
Yeah, and it's not like he was perfect either, right? Like he felt that jealousy bubbling up. But dude, it broke my heart when she was like, "Oh, he's just some guy," referring to Haesung. I was like, "Oh, how could you say that about Haesung?"
No, well, the way I interpreted it, I think she said it like that to kind of downplay who he is, because she still has those feelings deep within.
Yeah. And when they see each other as when they're 36.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
When they finally see each other in New York. Oh my god.
Yeah, it makes me want to go to New York again.
Yeah, let's go. I'm down.
But clearly Haesung was not there to vacation. He was just chilling. He was in his hotel eating probably whatever restaurant was in that hotel. He was there just to see her.
Oh, definitely. Oh, for sure. And even Arthur called him out on it, and then she came to the realization. She's like, "Oh, it's not." And then after, obviously, they hung out that first day. It's like, "Yeah, you're right." He came here to visit me. I was like, "Ah,
man, that movie. I like as much as like in that bedroom scene when Arthur mentions like he was very self-aware and the movie trope that I was like, oh god, that means they're not going to get together, like Haesung and Nayoung, and I was like no, there's still a chance. I'm like in denial with the movie. No, there's still a chance they could still get together. Like freaking Arthur's secretly a freaking I don't know a pedophile or something. I don't know. Wow. I don't know. I was like, what's the worst thing you could do to justify this?
Shoot.
But I gotta rewatch this movie. It's
good.
It's pretty up there, man.
Yeah. Like I already I haven't done a rewatch yet, but I anticipate my rewatches happening like this. The times that I want to rewatch 500 Days of Summer will go right into Past Lives. And we'll go right into Your Name or whatever order. I don't know. It'll be some sort of order like that.
At least Your Name and 500 Days of Summer, they have fairly, happy endings.
Mm-hmm.
With this movie, there's the happy ending is just they get closure.
Mm-hmm.
But that closure is not very happy. So
man, at first, I thought Haesung like made up that girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm like, wait, did he just make her up, and is that just his imagination, or did he really like date someone? I felt like that left that a little ambiguous.
In which part of the movie? When he was 24 or 36?
When he was younger.
Okay. Yeah, I think think he did.
Maybe.
I think he did.
Again, that could be a figment of his imagination, bro.
Not the girl that he meets during his like trip in China, right? When he like looks over and they're in a
I think
restaurant.
that's the one.
I think
That's
that's
the
the
one I'm
one.
remembering. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I'm remembering. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, rewatch it, man. It's like a
No,
slow
I don't want.
burn movie.
I don't want to. I don't want to get into one of those moods yet. I
Yeah.
have to wait until I'm in the mood first.
Yeah, that's true, man. It's like if you want to get sad,
No,
if you're
not
in the
yet.
feels, literally, I was like, sometimes I think about dying straight into this movie. Perfect timing.
Oh shoot! But no, I'm glad you really finally watched it. Yeah, that was. It was still streaming on Paramount Plus. Yeah.
It was still streaming on Paramount Plus, still not sponsored,
Oof.
but yeah, dude, I could probably do a whole episode on this movie, honestly.
Well, let me. Before I reveal my one last thing,
Hmm.
if you had watched that in 2023, is that your movie of the year?
Probably, yeah.
Oh,
Easily.
man. Wait, what was your movie of the year? I forgot already.
I don't even remember. See,
Oh, it
that's
was
the problem.
John Wick Chapter 4.
Oh, yeah, it's being John Wick Chapter 4. And
So John.
Oppenheimer.
Wait, what?
And Oppenheimer.
Okay.
And whatever my... Better than Mission Impossible. Better
Okay.
than Guardians.
Across the Spider-Verse, right?
But yeah.
Better than that?
I mean, obviously all different to those movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I were to pick a number one for 2023, Past Lives. Unless there's another secret movie that we're hiding from 2023, man. Holy crap.
I would probably slot this at 2 or 3 if I watched it in 2023. It would be just above or just below Across the Spider-Verse.
I feel you.
I would have to think about that long and hard. It's close.
Because I think when I think about Past Lives, I wonder, I'm like, is it rewatchable? Because I've only watched it one time.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Just the feelings that you get watching it. And I was like, and the way I feel about the movie days after, I don't think I felt like a movie has done that to me from 2023.
Yeah. Oh, no, I understand. I remember that's how you kind of described your name.
Yeah, exactly like your name. Kept me up for freaking hours, man.
Yeah. Well, anyway, continuing our segment, one last thing. By the way, thank you for sharing, and thank you for that impromptu podcast episode on
Past Lives.
Past Lives. Now streaming on Apple Podcasts. No, I'm just kidding. Oh shoot, I might put that in the episode description just in case.
Yeah.
But for my one last thing, this was a straight up coincidence. Sometimes, you get a little busy, and I'm like, oh man, I haven't watched anything new for one last thing yet. I almost started Fallout, but in the process of trying to figure out what I wanted to watch, because right now before yesterday, there were 2 shows that I've been wanting to start. And strangely enough, the show that I ended up finally watching was the day that they premiered the season 1 finale. The show I'm talking about is Shogun, which is streaming now on Hulu. I finally watched episode 1. I kind of purposely held off into watching it, not to wait until the finale came out or anything like that, but I just wanted to wait because from all the chatter that I was kind of hearing from social media posts, podcasts, and all that stuff, talking about and describing the show, about, having comparisons to a show like Game of Thrones. It's a completely different show, but in terms of scope, I should say, I was like, oh no, they're comparing it with Game of Thrones and good Game of Thrones, early seasons Game of Thrones. And I was like, oh no. Okay, I know when I watch this, to your point, I need to be ready because I'm going to be all about Shogun once I start it. And sure enough, I'm 1 episode in and I'm like, dude, I'm all in. This show is so freaking crazy with like the world building already. They did it quicker than Game of Thrones, I think, because it really isn't as big of a story, but it's got a lot of layers already that they established in just 1 hour of TV time. But yeah, I don't remember how many episodes of season 1 there are. I think there's 10 or something like that. But having a quick look at some of the ratings, I was like, oh shoot, no, this is gonna be one of my probably shows of 2024. So Shogun has already gotten my just my guarantee, like, not, I think it'll be one of my guaranteed top shows of 2024. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, one episode in, that's pretty high praise.
Yeah, because the first episode is just world building. Enough stuff happened where it was like, oh shoot. I remember I know some of these characters already. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm already invested. No.
Okay. I definitely gotta check out Shogun. I remember starting, did like the first 5 minutes or so, and then I was like, okay, I'm pausing it. I know I'll like it, so I'll save it for later. Because I watched Fallout, and now Shogun is next on my list, probably. There's another show, I don't want to mention too much just in case I mention it a couple weeks from now.
Yeah.
But Shogun is on my list for next show to watch for sure.
It's good. It's man, the storytelling, the writing is top notch. I'm like, there's already character development in episode 1 already, which is crazy. It's only 1 episode.
Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen in episode 2, dude?
I know.
That's when they do the heavy like character building, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, it usually starts off with a bang. They just catch your interest, and then they'll start to do the whole character building in episodes 2 and 3, and then we watched enough TV. But yeah, Shogun streaming on Hulu, not sponsored yet by Hulu or Disney.
Yeah, no one spoil us in the comments. We're both gonna watch it.
Yes, we may save a future section of a comment section of the Soup du Jour, maybe dedicated similar to past lives.
Yeah,
just today we may do that again for Shogun. And so you know what, let's just leave it at that for this week's Soup du Jour. Want to thank again our live audience for checking us out. Obviously, also for those that are listening on your favorite podcast app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube now. I think they took over Google Podcasts, right?
Yeah, so YouTube Music now, if you have that app, go subscribe and follow us on YouTube Music.
Yeah. But Jeremy, just like we said, I'll see you in maybe 2 weeks, right?
Let's make it 14 days. Okay, fine. 2 weeks.
All right, cool. Yes. We will see you in 2 weeks for our next live stream on The Fall Guy, starring Ken and Jeremy. On the real.